All right, everybody, welcome back to the Jordan Report, and I'm your host, Robert Jordan. Everyone, please remember to like, subscribe, and share. All right, let's go through some more of these Hunter Biden emails, people. And let me remind everyone that the communist Chinese government, already was in possession of all this information, people. This information was theirs. The people that's revealing this information to us now are anti-communist Chinese. Okay, and somehow they got a hold of the information. Either they hacked in or they had a spy or whatever. But they're revealing this information to us because they don't want to see Joe Biden in the White House no more than we do. Okay? They're afraid of him just as we are. But anyway, the picture that you're looking at is a surveillance picture from inside of the White House. Okay? That's Hunter Biden and obviously Barack Obama. The surveillance camera was placed there by Joe Biden. Now, let me give you the story behind this, people, because this stuff is just unbelievable. Today, lewd media revealed that the photo that featured President Obama and Hunter Biden released yesterday was a screenshot from a surveillance video inside of the White House. Joe Biden carried out the surveillance of the conversation between his son, Hunter Biden, and the President of the United States. The surveillance video was found in Hunter Biden's laptop from hell. The date of the photo was April the 4th, 2016. I'll show you the timestamp. 3 days prior, April the 1st, President Xi Jinping of China was attending the 2016 Nuclear Security Summit together with other UN leaders. Okay? In the lewd media expose, it was revealed that Hunter Biden, that picture I was showing you, proposed to President Obama a potential deal from President Xi. The U.S. was to look away from China's military activities in exchange for $1 billion. Okay? Lewd media exposed that according to the evidence from Hunter Biden's laptop, Joe Biden sent out the surveillance video to a representative of the Chinese Communist Party. Within 26 hours after this video was sent out, the reward of $1 billion was received by Hunter Biden's business associate. In the lewd media expose, that the actual sum that President Obama received from the deal was a small portion of the $1 billion, and that the Secret Service was involved in retrieving the surveillance video that Joe Biden eventually sent to President Xi. The purpose of the surveillance video was clearly to blackmail Obama for the rest of his presidency and after his presidential term. What does that tell you, people? Okay, now let me show you what happened as a result of this, people, because this worked out in real life. And now we know what Trump is talking about. South China Sea alert. Look what these people did. How Obama lost the region to Beijing, as expert revealed it's too late. South China Sea tensions continue to be high, but the region has already been lost to Beijing thanks to the lack of action by the previous U.S. President Obama. This is June 2020, people. This is what's going on right now. China has militarized several island chains and shoals in the region under Xi Jinping's 9-line policy. Under the plan, China lays claim to several territories within the line, although it runs from the mainland to within a few hundred kilometers of countries such as the Philippines, Malaysia, and Vietnam. Although the historical claims to the island and territories have been long mentioned within China, current President Xi is attributed to changing the passivity of the policy. They're fortresses now, okay? In order to show its presence in the region, the U.S. has continued the freedom of navigation operations while 3 aircraft carriers were dispatched to the waters this month. However, despite the show of force from the U.S., Professor Sang from the School of African Studies stated that there was little Donald Trump could do now. Speaking to the Express UK, Ms. Sang said Obama administration had failed to address the creation of the militarized islands, and now there was little that could be done. This really came down to Obama rather than Trump, because all this happened when he was president. Okay, here he is meeting with these guys. All right? When they began building the artificial islands, that was the point to stop them. But it wasn't done. Once those islands have been turned into military bases, what are you going to do about it? So there's not a huge amount America can actually do about those military bases. Okay? Obama sold regional security, these people's whole regional security, for $1 billion. Now let me show you the report.
All right, well, these images are scary. It was one thing in the South China Sea when the Chinese were just taking over islands that technically really weren't theirs and all but put condos on them, then made the military installations, and now deploying missiles on these islands. If that doesn't alarm you just a little bit, it's kind of looking like a Cuban Missile Crisis, 50-plus years later, but maybe that's just me exaggerating. Ben Collins, Army Special Forces veteran. Ben, that's scary stuff, isn't it?
It certainly is, but I do think we have to look at this in terms of context of time. So two things are going on right now. So one, we're in the middle of the Association of Southeast Asian States, the ASEAN conference, and so Obama is there. So this is really a show of force on China's part while everybody's together discussing these issues. The second thing is about a month ago or so, we put a U.S. battleship by one of those contested islands, and so again, this is another show of force to say that they are going to make claim to these islands, and they're going to start expanding at least what they've done so far. They've already extended a lot of the runways. They've put
I don't
some fighter
see anyone
jets.
stopping them, Ben. I know the South Koreans were nervous, the Japanese were nervous, but I don't see them stopping.
No, and in fact, they just and that's why I think we're going to have to really pay attention to what they continue to build. So these missile batteries, the HQ-9, they've got a range of about 125 miles. If we start seeing them actually start building permanent facilities, because right now these are mobile units, they're on a truck, and so they have them parked down on a beach for the world to see. So that's not a mistake. That they did that. This was definitely something they wanted the world to see. They've got a message that they're sending. But the more and more that they build on these islands, it's very concerning, because they're just going to keep building, and eventually they're going to be able to build a protective net around these islands and deny access.
I know you dismiss it, as you should, because it was more than 50 years ago. But JFK, with the Cuban Missile Crisis, quarantined the area and formed a naval blockade. Now that was a restricted area, much smaller than we're looking at here, and it was about 90 miles away from us at the time. But what do we do here? Is there any benefit to blocking this, to even having more ships come in from some of these islands where they're setting up missiles and saying, no, you can't do it? That would be a very different game, wouldn't it?
It would be a very different game, but I think we've seen from this president that he's not going to be willing to cross that line. I mean, that's another red line that we're going to be drawing in the water as opposed to the sand. But there's a political reality here too. I mean, I think it's very uncertain as to what type of president we're going to have in the next election. So I think that they're going to push this thing as far as they can possibly go. And the second thing is, Neil, is these are surface-to-air missiles. China has recently developed a surface-to-ship missile, which is extremely scary and effectively puts our carriers in check. So there's a tactical concern here as well.
Yeah, and I didn't even get a chance to mention the North Koreans, and they have something in orbit right now. But it's scary stuff. Ben Collins, thank you.
Thanks, Neil.
Okay, that's the mess that Trump is talking about that Obama and Biden left for him.